So along comes physical activity. Okay. And, it really is unique. And again, my whole career was spent as a physical education teacher and have worked in this field for a number of years. And I've just always been amazed about kind of the nature that physical activity is just kind of has this unique power really to attract and get people, mobilized and moving. And it's always been about, participation, making sure, it's inclusive. It's got to be for everybody when I talk about physical activity. So, it provides this opportunity, for many years, we've always said and told physical education teachers, especially, to be on the forefront of this, movement around integrating, more movement throughout the school day, because it really does do more than just the physical piece of it. There's that opportunity to build teamwork and to build character development, foster that sense of belonging, and really important to the overall health and well-being. So if you like research and if you like data, there's lots of information out there around the benefits of physical activity. Very well researched area. And a lot of people right now, if I were to ask you to, hey, put in the chat box, what's one major benefit of physical activity? I'd probably say, the majority of folks often point to those physical benefits, that it really helps to prevent chronic diseases, makes us stronger, gives us energy, decreases stress. Start moving into that social piece, the mental health piece, the emotional piece of it, which again, trying to foster those connections, that it's more than just movement. It's more than having kids, up and moving. There's really a lot of other benefits that go along with it, and linking that physical, that mental health piece, the social piece of it, and then also the cognitive piece of it, because we know that, again, that healthier kids are going to do better in school. It's been linked to reduction in chronic absenteeism. So how can I further strengthen those connections and really promote those benefits? So when I put those two together, how do they work? And again, we know that physical activity opportunities can be a powerful tool for students, developing, all those positive character traits. But again, think about this from the adult perspective. What about the social connections that happen? Cooperation. If you've ever heard of cooperative type games, which are very popular in physical education, where I've got students working together to solve a problem. We were just all together, the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. We had our once a year in-person offsite in St. Louis a couple of weeks ago. And we had the opportunity to participate in kind of like an adventure race with members of the organization. We were put into groups, and it probably wasn't people that were on our team that we see in day-to-day, virtual meetings. It was people that we didn't really get the chance to interact with very much, but I left there thinking, gosh, what a great activity, because it really, helped me to communicate, helped me develop this sense of teamwork with someone in the organization I probably didn't interact with very much. But you know what, as a remote organization where, we're just kind of meeting virtually, except for once a year, it really did serve to kind of strengthen, those communication pathways, because now when I see those individuals on a meeting, I'm more comfortable in reaching out to them, because we've had that opportunity to interact, to problem solve, to develop that kind of positive culture. So again, think about those opportunities and those benefits that go along with physical activity as well. And kind of putting this information together, if you're familiar with the Comprehensive School Physical Activity Program, it kind of brought me back to that, because if you think about where are those opportunities for physical activity? So if I'm trying to get more movement in the school day, is it the physical education program? Is it during school? Is it before school programs, after school programs? How can I get more staff involved? And then how can I really create, connections with families, and then also connections with what's going on in the community? So the CSPAP, the Comprehensive School Physical Activity Programs, the evidence-based framework, CDC and ASCD put this together probably back in around '08, and it's kind of this multi-component approach. And when folks say, well, yeah, what does that look like with the whole child health model? And then I tell them, if you were to open up that little box that says physical education, physical activity, this is where the framework would live at. So still very much relevant, and some great resources if you're getting started in this work that you can utilize with your wellness committees to really identify, what and where and what do I have the opportunity to do? And, again, I'll, mention physical education teachers in this space, because again, we really want them, they have the background, they have the professional preparation, the skill set to kind of be the leaders in this type of work. And, throughout all the initiatives around social emotional learning, I've encouraged physical education teachers, hey, we have 2 national standards and your state standards that specifically address social emotional learning. One of the only content areas that has that. So how can we really take advantage of that to make connections for folks that, yeah, this is, physical education, and also, do more than the physical health piece of it. So good news or bad news, depending upon where we're working at, we kind of see all of these same kind of obstacles that come up. And, it's always the same. It's the time, it's the space piece. A teacher saying, gosh, I've got so many things to do already in a crowded, schedule. How am I going to do something else, Sean? You can't give me just one more thing to do. And then again, the space piece of it. And, somewhere along the line, as adults, I think we've tried to overthink the physical activity piece of it. And we think it's going to be real complicated, right? Like we need this huge 100-yard field to participate on, or we need a lot of different equipment. So in order to overcome these barriers, we've got to give folks ideas that, don't take a lot of time. It can be simply integrated already into what they're doing. It doesn't require a lot of equipment. And then again, as somebody mentioned, if someone doesn't have a background in physical activity, leading physical activity, or participating in physical activity, then we've really got to give them some ideas and some more structured support.